Here's what you missed on Phathead and Cande in the morning. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.
My Country 96.1, Phathead, Cande Roth. Since my story's probably a lot longer than yours, tell me about your day out yesterday.
Well, I have been craving the chicken dip now because you've been talking about it for a few days. And I said, I got to see if my BJ's has it, and I got to buy it. This is crazy. So we went to BJ's. We went together, and we looked all over, couldn't find it. Got a lot of stuff that I wanted, but couldn't find that dip. And I could taste it. I was looking forward to going home and having some, but no.
Yeah, completely discontinued. And how was BJ's for you?
It wasn't bad at all. There was no wait. They had no chicken. They really had no meat to speak of, but they had some of the things that I use and need. So it was okay. It wasn't bad. We self-checked out, which is the way to go now.
That you just brought up a whole nother issue, which we could talk about another time, is the meat shortage that's going to be going on.
Yes, and that's why I said we should just, if we see it, we have to buy it no matter what. And they didn't have any.
Yeah, like the old phrase, if you see something, say something. If you see a pack of meat, you grab a pack of meat.
Buy it, because you may not see it again. Absolutely.
Basically. Yesterday, Cande, I got in the car. The whole house was sleeping, except for Abigail, who was getting up for her Zoom class, right? So I get in the car, and I drove. We spoke yesterday about the BJ's that allegedly had my chicken dip 50 minutes away.
Oh, boy.
I drove to Farmingdale, Cande, and I went to Route 110. I went to BJ's. I waited outside to get in not long, about 5 minutes. I was on a line behind about 10 people to get in the store. I got in. I made a beeline right for the... Actually, that's incorrect. There was a woman who just cracked open a brand new hand sanitizer pallet, and she was handing out 2 hand sanitizers to everybody. You have to pay for them.
Yes, they were handing them. Yes, we didn't have to pay for it. They just handed it to us.
Oh, so I took them. Really? They handed it to you?
Yeah, just one.
Oh, okay. We had 2. We had to pay for them, but... they were going fast, so I took them. Then I made a beeline for the cold case. I went up and down the frozen aisle 3 times. Couldn't find my chicken dip around every bend. I was so excited that I would see it, and I did not find it. So I had to find a manager. That manager put me in touch with the frozen foods manager. He then told me there must have been a glitch in the system. That chicken dip hasn't been in for weeks.
So you drove all that way for nothing.
Not necessarily. I got hand sanitizer. Then what I did was I left and I went across the street. I was upset, but I said, what am I going to do? People are dying. Am I going to cry over my chicken dip? So I left.
I think you might cry.
Listen. One thing having nothing to do with the other. I sobbed a little bit when I got back in the car.
I know you did.
Just a touch. So I went across the street to Home Depot. We're looking possibly for a chest freezer or maybe a small fridge, like another fridge to put some stuff in. So I went to Home Depot. I looked at some stuff. Everything was either way too small or way too big, didn't suit our needs or too expensive. Anyway, I get back in the car. I drive further home. I stop on Sunrise Highway in the Bayshore area. I went into Lowe's. Lowe's also didn't have anything I needed. Then, also driving, I stopped at the Holbrook Costco.
You've gone stir crazy.
I did. Well, look, I was in each store for very little time. I was masked, I was gloved, and I didn't touch anything. I didn't touch a cart. I didn't bring a cart. I walked in, I walked out. I had the mask on. So Costco doesn't have the type of fridge or freezer I need, but I said, let me check Costco for chicken dip. So I walk around their frozen section aisles. There's no chicken dip. They don't have any chicken dip, nothing that resembles it. But what I did find in their dip section was something called street corn dip, or I think it's called street corn dip or something like that. And it's not hot, not spicy at all. It's like a mix of cheeses and things, and it's Mexican style. And you can kind of cut your own chicken. You can taste it and be like, cut your own chicken up and put it in there and see how it would taste good. So I bought a couple tubs of this dip, and I'm going to cut up some of the chicken breast we have at home. because I really don't have the energy right now to make my own chicken dip at the moment.
Let me know how you make out with that.
Yeah. So that was my day, and I promise this will be my final chicken dip story until I decide to go get all the ingredients and make my very own chicken dip.
Now, one more question on this, and then we'll drop it. Did you contact the actual company that makes the dip? Did you go online? Can you get mail to you?
Cande, I'm glad you brought it up because I went online. They have a website. It's called the Perfect Bite Company, and I went online and I perused their products, and do you know the chicken dip does not exist on their website?
So they're done with it. You'll never see it again.
And I have no idea why, because it was fabulous. I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't cost effective. Who knows? Maybe you're the only one who bought it, but apparently not because you can't find it. So it must be a big hit.
Yeah, not sure what the deal is there, but I promise chicken dip is done until I decide to make my own, Cande, okay?
Well, I can't wait for that day to come.
Phathead and Cande in the morning, weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.